Hello, folks. So in this video, I'm gonna explain another economic concept, which is unemployment. In this video, I'm gonna explain what do we mean by unemployment, what are the different categories of population, and how do we measure unemployment. So let's start first with how do we measure unemployment? To answer this question, so we usually categorize the entire population into three categories. So let's see this. So this is the population. Okay, so we divide, okay, so this is the population. So we divide the population into three categories. Okay. So usually, like I recommend solving any unemployment problems by this way. So the first category is number A, which is those who are under 16. So those who are under 16. So anyone is under 16 will be under this category. The second category is those who are not in the labor force, like for instance, people who are retired. So they are not in the labor force. So those are who are not in labor force. So I'm gonna use LF to stand for labor force. And the last one is labor force. Okay, so we have three categories. The first one is those who are under 16. The second one is those who are not in the labor force, like retired people. And the last category is the labor force. Under labor force, we have two categories, or I can say two subcategories. The first one is those who are unemployed and those who are employed. And underemployed, we can classify them further into part-time and full-time. So whether you work as a part-time or full-time, you will be counted as employed. Okay, so this is the way we categorize the population. So, but the most important point in this video is how do we measure unemployment? So in order to measure unemployment, this is the key formula we are gonna use here. So unemployment, it's easy to understand the formula now, but like by looking to this categorization. So if we look at this categorization here, okay, so unemployment is what? Is number of unemployed, which is this part. So you are supposed to divide the number of unemployed people, divide by the labor force, divide by the labor force. So one of the common problems which people usually do when they solve the population or the unemployment problems, which is they divide unemployment by the population, which is incorrect. So you have to divide the unemployed, the number of unemployed by the labor force. So be careful about this, not by the population. Okay, so this is the way we find out the unemployment rate. So let's see a question here. Okay, so let's see this question. So assume that a country for data for a country total population is, let's do it by the same way I did it here. So I'm gonna write down population. Okay, so three categories. Okay, less than 16 and not in labor force and labor force and labor force. Here we have employed and unemployed. Okay. Okay, so now let's see the data we have. Total population is 500, so this is 500. And those population under 16 years of age are 120. So I'm going to put here 120. And not in the labor force are 150. So this is 150. Unemployed is 23. So the unemployed, this is 23. And part-time workers looking for full-time job, as I said, employed can be classified into full-time and part-time. So part-time workers are 10. Okay, the question didn't give me data about those who have full-time jobs. Okay, anyway, so let's see question number one. Question number one here is what is the size of the labor force? Okay, so basically I'm asking about this part. Okay, probably the easiest way to solve this question is simply subtract like 500 minus 120 minus 150. Yes, because I said population is classified into three different categories. So this means these three categories add up to the entire population. So labor force can be found by subtracting those who are under 16, which is 120, and those who are not in the labor force, which is 150, from the entire population, which is 150. That's why you can see this question here. This is the answer. Okay, 500 minus 120 minus 150. So you will get 230. So the labor force equals 230. Question number B is, what is the official unemployment? What is the official unemployment rate? So the official unemployment rate, I said, you have to divide those who are unemployed divided by the labor force. So those who are unemployed is 23, divided by the labor force, which is 230, multiplied by 100, because we need the unemployment rate as a percentages. So this will give you 10%. Okay, so as you can see, so the unemployment rate equals 10%. Okay, let's see another question. Okay, so let's see this. Okay, let's see another question here we have, which is, again, so I'm giving you total population under 16, employed and unemployed. Okay, so let's have the same categorization I said before. So here we have population, and those who are less than 16, not in labor force, and those who are labor force, and labor force are classified into employed and unemployed. Okay, so let's see. Total population is 307. So total population is 307. Those who are under 16 is 69.3. So 69.3. Employed is 139. So 139.1. Those who are unemployed equals 14.6. Now, the first question is, find the size of labor force. Labor force is simply the addition of it, so you can just add those who are employed and unemployed. So that's why you see the answer here. So 139.1 is those who are employed, and 14.6 is unemployed. Okay, so if you add these two categories, you will find out the labor force. Okay, next question is, find out the number of those who are classified as not in the labor force. So basically, this is question number B. So from question number A, we found that the labor force equals 153.7. Yes, so we have the labor force, we have those who are under 16, we have the total population. So you can easily find those who are not in the labor force. So population, which is 007 minus 69.3 minus 153.7, you will find out those who are not in the labor force. The last question is, and this is the most important question, which is find out the unemployment rate. As I said, divide the unemployed by labor force. Those who are unemployed equals 14.6, divided by the labor force, which is 153.7. This is what we got from question number 8, multiplied by 10%. So the unemployment rate equals 9.5%. Okay. So usually, like most of the economists get the unemployment, the most recent unemployment data and the most comprehensive data about unemployment from a website which is called BLS. And in the next video, you will see how you can get actual unemployment data and actual historical data about unemployment rate. Okay, so I'm gonna explain this part in the next video. How can you get this data? Okay, and this is the website. This is the website if you want to use it to get like actual historical data about unemployment. Okay, and that's it. Okay, thank you so much and see you in the next video.